Hi, and welcome once again to Sunshine Startups Live. I'm your host, entrepreneur, investor, and startup enthusiast, Jim Ryan. We are in day 2, coming to a conclusion. Having a great time meeting with all the startups, companies, meeting with one another. We talked about a sort of a collision station. Emerge here in Miami Beach has been that, and I'm so thankful to be here at the end of day 2 with John Wensveen. John, it's great to be with you, my friend.
It's good to be with you, my friend. I'm just going to point out, as I look at the monitor in front of me, the world's first theme park for entrepreneurs is right behind me, and we still have constant buzz. And I am pretty certain for the 3rd year in a row that we're going to be the most visited exhibit space at Emerge Americas.
If you ever want to come to see as many of the sophisticated robots, autonomous, the NSU booth has been the place to be. And we're talking about entrepreneurs, and we've got one today that's been a serial entrepreneur. And Albert and I saw each other many, many years ago at the Florida Venture Forum, and it's great to reconnect with you, Albert, again today. Albert Santalo, the company is 8Base, and Albert, tell us about 8Base, because you have had this company now for a few years now, about 3 or 4 years?
Longer, since 2017.
Okay, so coming up on almost eight years now, and doing quite well. I know you're also sponsoring a competition here, which I want to talk to you about in a moment. But tell us, what is 8Base?
So 8Base started out as a low-code development platform, and it's really evolved into a full generative AI-based software development platform. So, I got my start in my career as a software developer. Many stops along the way, from management consulting to later being an entrepreneur in 3 venture-backed companies. And my observation was that software development was just broken. So we created 8Base to make that easier, to the benefit of everyone who ever sponsors a software project. But then when we saw Gen AI, it really sort of made us take a different look. And, I'll tell you more about that.
So looking at emerging technologies and what you've been building, and you're a relatively new company, but still got some maturity behind you, and technology is advancing so quickly. How do you look at these emerging technology trends so that you're always adaptable to what it is that you're doing so that you can continue to scale and be successful?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We see, let's talk about AI for a moment. And with AI, great opportunity. There's lots of things that you can do with AI to make your product better. When it came to 8Base, we took a first principles approach, meaning that we said, what if we started the company today with not considering that we already have a product? How would we create 8Base? And that allowed us to really be creative and reinvent ourselves in many ways and launch something that we call Archie. Archie is our AI product architect. So essentially, if you're trying to bring a digital product to the world for a startup, a large company, or you're working as a software development firm, where you're helping people with many projects, you can use Archie to essentially take what would normally happen in design sprints over a 12-week period, sometimes as long as 6 months, and compress that to 15 minutes. So if you think about software development, most of us think about that as coding, right? But the problems usually start before the coding happens, right? Starts in that upfront process where you're designing things. That process has not changed since the dawn of computing. Gen AI gives us a way to do that now in a whole different kind of way. If we weren't using first principles thinking, we wouldn't be doing that, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
You've been a successful entrepreneur, successful fundraiser. This is not your first rodeo. How did you come up with the idea of 8Base, and what sort of enamored you into this business model?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm a software engineer by background. So I studied computer engineering, and I got to work as a professional developer when I was 18 years old. So I've been doing this a long time. Somebody said just a few minutes ago, I can't believe you guys built Archie so quickly. And I said, yeah, it only took 37 years. Because that's what it is, right? It's encoded with our insight on how would you do all this. So I started out as a developer, so I see how developers work. I know how developers think. I was one. I stopped doing that a long time ago. And then along the way, I've been involved in successful startups. One of them was AnswerThink, which started here in the late 90s and today is a public company called the Hackett Group. I got to see a lot of technology done by large companies and small companies during that time. And then I founded two highly complex enterprise software companies of my own, Avicenna and CareCloud, right? And boy, did we struggle making that software work. Here you are, the entrepreneur, you're going without pay, you're out there raising money, which many entrepreneurs haven't done, and then you're funding inefficient software development efforts. And I just believe there was a better way. I believe that we could abstract away that complexity, create a platform that would make it easy, and we did that, right? Made it easier. We helped lower the barrier to getting your product out the door when you're an entrepreneur so that you could focus on achieving product market fit and not raising money. And now with Gen AI, it's at a whole other level.
Let's talk a little bit about the innovation ecosystem. And Emerge is a great event because it's a collision station that truly brings a lot of different stakeholders together, from the entrepreneurial community, the funding communities, the collisions, the great things that start to happen. And given your DNA here in Florida and South Florida, it's going through an evolving environment, continuous. What is it like to be an entrepreneur in South Florida in terms of infrastructure and resources? What's the good, the bad, and the ugly?
So you want me to answer that question with 2024 in mind or 2001?
It seems like 2020 would be a high note, maybe.
Let's just not go year by year. We don't have enough time.
Yeah, so just to put it in context, because I mean, this is, how can we not talk about the past when we're talking about this topic, right? So when I first did it, it was 2001. It was a month after 9/11. It was a year after the dot-com bubble had burst. Technology entrepreneurs were not in favor, especially young ones. And I just happened to have 4 kids and a wife who was a school teacher at home, right? So there was no Y Combinator, there was no Techstars, there wasn't an internet packed with guidance on how do you do entrepreneurship. And then we were in Miami. And I have to say that in Miami, most people thought of Miami as a sort of this sleepy vacation place. So, and I didn't want to move, but somehow through a lot of hard work, was able to make it happen. One thing we do have a lot of in Miami is high net worth individuals. So if you could create an angel community, then you could tap into it and they would help you start ventures. That has evolved. And I think the pandemic has changed things completely for Miami. It sort of was validated. A lot of venture capital started coming here. VCs started moving here. So if you look at Miami today, it's a great place. It's a thriving place to do startups. The barriers to raising money, especially West Coast money, have come down. And at the heart of any entrepreneurial venture is the people that are working in it. And if the people are happy and free and can open their doors and their windows and they can see sunshine all year round, right? It's going to lead to happy, productive workers that create great startups.
What's 8base has got some a role here at Emerge. Talk about that. Obviously, you're doing this amazing competition. Kind of share that with us.
Yeah. So like I mentioned earlier, especially with Archie, our AI product architect, it provides so much value to an early stage venture. So we ended up donating 110 Archies to the companies that are in the startup showcase at Emerge. They all proceeded to use Archie to basically build their product. And then we built an AI judge that judges, that consumes all the Archie output, puts it through a scoring criteria and comes out with 5 finalists, and then ultimately a recommendation for a winner. And then we paired that with a human judging panel, and then we'll be awarding the winner a $10,000 check here in a little while.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit in the following moments that we have. What does the future look like for your organization? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
So we see ourselves at the heart of redefining how software development is done. So we have a very unique approach to how this is done. Most of the efforts that we've seen in AI around software development is how do we make software developers more productive, sort of incrementally using artificial intelligence and natural language prompts. We believe the issue starts way before that. Software developers do more than coding. They do architecture, they solve engineering problems, they do a lot of analytical work. And we believe that a solution like Archie takes care of those things earlier in the process so that the coding step is greatly facilitated and can be done by artificial intelligence as well. It shifts the work of what a software developer would do to what we believe is a higher value activity than coding, right? At this point, I think we can all see that computers should be able to code really, really well, right? If you saw ChatGPT, even in its first instance, writing code which is very deterministic, at the end of the day, it should be something that a computer does better than a human. But that doesn't mean we don't need people with software skills and people with analytical skills still involved in bringing great technologies to bear. But we can have them do more and better work by liberating them from the mundane coding aspects of it.
How do potential prospects, I know you're looking to continue to scale 8Base customers, how do they get a hold of 8Base?
The best way is to go to archie.8base.com.
Simple enough.
You can go to www.8base.com, but you're going to immediately go to Archie anyway and basically put in your prompt and get started. It's really easy.
Good user experience. Basis of a good developer and a software programmer. Isn't that true? So Albert Santalo, company is 8Base. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, and good luck with all your future ventures as well.
Oh, well, thank you both. Been a pleasure.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Remember to subscribe, like, and share the Sunshine Startups Live podcast, and follow us on social media. If you're interested in sponsoring or appearing on the show, please email us at booking@sunshinestartups.live.